Hey folks, welcome to our wrap-up video for Malawi. What an incredible country. We just left this morning. We're on a high because we're in Zambia, and two great countries, Zambia and Malawi. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling great. How are you feeling about being in the warm heart of Africa? Or at least that's how they sort of sell themselves. Did you really think it was the warm heart of Africa?
Yeah, do you know, I do think it was a valid slogan. There is something about Malawi that there's like something warm and cushy about being in there. It's not always the nicest experience, like, you know, it's a gritty place. There's definitely lots of things going on around you that might be a bit crazy, but the people are generally warm and friendly and inviting.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a warm place as well. I mean, you come in from East Africa. It's starting to get a little bit chilly up towards the highlands of East Africa. And then we came back down into tropical rainforest. And it really feels like, yet again, you're crossing a border, you're coming into a totally different geographic zone, and you're in Central Africa now.
Really cool.
And it's just such a unique place in my opinion. You know, you're in the African Central Lakes. You know, this is the place that was discovered by David Livingstone, the great explorer, in the 19th century.
Crazy. Stunning coastline in Malawi, which is a crazy thing to say about a landlocked country.
It feels like a sea. It feels like you're on the sea. You've got tropical beaches, you know, palm trees, banana trees. It's tropical fruits for breakfast.
It's amazing. It's the most like the Caribbean I think I've ever felt outside of the Caribbean. It feels so lush. It's so green. The soil is that kind of really rich looking stuff that looks like you throw any seed at it, it'll just spring up. It's got that sort of feel. For sure.
And going back to the sort of the rich history that they have with people like David Livingstone, you really get a sense that the people there have this appreciation for the Mzungu and you know, for that heritage, because you know, they were taken out of, you know, the sort of the fear of having the slave trade always coming through there. They were one of the primary routes for the slave trade, and that's really shaped their history. Such
a torrid past in a way Malawi has, but they've really lifted out of all of that in many ways. Like, we were looking at some of the stats for life expectancy, gone up by 50% even in the last 10 years.
10-20 years. Incredible rises.
And the elections. We were there during the national elections. We feel eternally privileged to have experienced that and had some really insightful conversations with locals who do remain quite optimistic generally about the future.
Weirdly optimistic, in my opinion.
Malawi's really known for its corruption.
And
the leaders they've got in at the moment, you know, corrupt, known for being corrupt. I think my favourite conversation was with that guy in Makuzi Lodge, the bartender guy there, who was saying basically he's optimistic because the next guy might not steal as much as the last guy.
But it was such a weird time to be there. The energy was high. We were cycling through a town on the day of the election. People had been out to vote, and it was basically a day off. Everybody was out in the village drinking. Here comes Mzungu rolling on in, you know, requesting this, that, and the other. And we were basically, we got the stuff we wanted, but we were pretty much escorted out of the village. And you know, there's just that hint of awkwardness. I think generally they're wonderful people, and when you break through that sort of little bit of an exterior and have a good conversation, they really open up. And there's some wonderful people.
Absolutely cracking people there. A little bit on the crazy end. Some of the crazy things they call out on the street. You know, they're not just saying hello, they're saying other things, because it's never the same words that you're hearing. And a lot of begging on the streets too, mainly from the kids, but it's not it's quite an appealing sort of begging. It's not aggressive like how we had it in Ethiopia. You're more inclined to give.
It feels like they're really doing it. They're pleading, you know. They're doing it out of a real need, you know. This is, you know, below the poverty line stuff, but you know,
a long way.
You know, you wonder whether they're getting one solid meal a day, even though there is, you know, a plethora of food around. That it's well, as you say, it's a lush place, but just. I think it must be the corruption. It must be the inequality.
Classic poor management, isn't it?
And the inequality is the thing that really struck me above everything else. Especially coming into places like Lilongwe, you know, having seen all this poverty around the rest of the country, hardly seeing any vehicles. The bicycle is, you know, is the transport of kings there.
Yeah.
And you come into Lilongwe, and all of a sudden there's BMWs and Mercedes.
Yeah, it's so strange.
Fortified houses. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really hard to live with as a Westerner. It's hard to digest that because, we like to see. We didn't realise it, but we do like to see a reasonable amount of equality as we go about our day-to-day lives. And so to see this peaks and troughs as we go through the country, it's difficult.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, it's a fascinating place. It's, in a way, it's not to be missed in Africa. You've got to go there. You got to go and see it and just see the vibrancy of it. And we've got insights from Malawi that I don't think we would have gotten anywhere else.
Yeah, for sure. It was well worth the visit. It was well worth the extra money we paid and the few extra miles we put on the clock as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Saw lots of buffalo bikes. We went to see the buffalo bikes team in Lilongwe. They hosted us really nicely. We actually had a go on the bikes this time, which was amazing. And we got some really cool stories, which we're going to share more with you over the coming few weeks, actually. But overall, just what a stunning place. So glad we went, and so glad for all of your support along our journey.
Yeah, thank you so much. We would recommend Malawi to anyone coming to Africa, and in particular this region of Central Africa. It's really well worth the visit. We look forward to catching up with you next time here on Odyssey Africana.
See you again soon.